Two titles are on the line at DREAM.17.
That'll ring your bell, right hand to the ear.
Europe and Japan collide at It's Showtime.
Giorgio Petrosyan looking a bit worse for wear.
And it's do or die in Cancun, Mexico. This is Fight Network's preview show.
Still wants another match with Pacquiao. Watch this.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Davis and welcome to Fight Network's preview show. We're bringing you MMA, kickboxing, and the sweet science on the show. So both John Ramdeen and Corey Erdman will be joining me to break down the fights and give us their predictions. First up, we're looking at DREAM.17, which is taking place at the Ariake Coliseum in Tokyo, Japan, featuring two championship bouts and the finals of the Bantamweight Grand Prix tournament. Gegard Mousasi will take on Hiroshi Izumi for the light heavyweight title. Mousasi, who's earned a record of 33-2, has yet to lose in the promotion and is coming off a draw with Keith Jardine at Strikeforce Diaz versus Daly. The less experienced Izumi looks to build on his 4-fight winning streak in his promotional debut.
Dream light heavyweight kingpin Gegard Mousasi returns to the land of the rising sun to defend his throne for the first time since capturing the title, as he takes on Japanese judo silver medalist Hiroshi Izumi. Between 2008 and 2009, the Armenian Golden Glory product was emerging as a force to be reckoned with in the world of mixed martial arts. Mousasi made an impact with emphatic wins over Dutch powerhouse Melvin Manhoef, current Strikeforce middleweight champion Sakurai Souza, UFC heavyweight Mark Hunt,
Mark Hunt is out.
Former Strikeforce champion Hanato Babalu Sobral. In addition, Mousasi put the kickboxing world on notice with stunning wins over Japanese legends Musashi and Kiyotaro in K1 matchups. Musasi's streak of dominance would come to an end in April of 2010 as he dropped his Strikeforce 205-pound strap in a one-sided 5-round decision loss to former NCAA Division I wrestler Muhammad King Mo Lawal. Despite rebounding with wins over Jake O'Brien and Tatsuya Mizuno to win the Dream title, Musasi's wrestling has been a constant source of criticism. Coming off a contentious draw against Keith Jardine this past April, Mousasi was ready to reclaim his aura as a premier 205-pound talent. With only 5 professional fights under his belt, the highly touted Japanese judoka Izumi will be at a significant disadvantage. The freelance product is riding a 4-fight winning streak, including notable triumphs over Cage Rage veteran James Zikic and Japanese sensation Ikuhisa Minowa. For Mousasi, it's a must-win fight if he hopes to reclaim some of his lost momentum. For Izumi, it's an opportunity to shock the world. A win over an established veteran like Mousasi will catapult Izumi into the mainstream and give him an opportunity to flaunt his flashy throws in front of a North American audience.
MMA analyst John Ramdeen joining me. John, what is that?
It's the Dream Returns dance. Dream is back finally, thank goodness.
Okay, you're excited. Let's talk about Hiroshi Izumi. He's a 2004 Olympic silver medalist. Gegard Mousasi, a black belt himself. Is judo going to come into play here? And if not, who has the striking advantage?
If Izumi can close the distance and get that clinch on Mousasi and utilize his grappling skills, yes, it could come into play, but I highly, highly doubt it. I think Mousasi is too good of a striker, and he knows the game plan of Izumi. He wants to keep him outside, use that range, use that distance to punish him with either leg kicks or high kicks. A very talented fighter is Gegard Mousasi. He has a plethora of skills, and he's one of the most dangerous fighters in the 205-pound division. But if this fight does go down to the ground, he is also awesome off of his back. So I expect Mousasi to win this fight very easily.
He sounds scary, but how important is this fight for each one of them, because it is a championship bout?
For Izumi, you know, if he loses this fight, oh well, a lot of Japanese fighters lose their fights and they continue to have a great career. For Mousasi, you know, there's only 2 places in America for him to go if he wants to make an impact: Strikeforce or the big dog, the UFC, and everybody has their eye on the prize. And I think Mousasi needs a big victory. He has to win in emphatic fashion if he wants to get to the big show.
And how do you think it's going to end?
He's going to end this fight by strikes, probably late in the first round. I think he's just too dominant, and he's going to take it. I think he's going to impress the entire mixed martial arts world.
Masakazu Imanari battles Hideo Tokoro in the Bantamweight Grand Prix final for the promotion's inaugural Bantamweight title. Well known for his leg locks, Imanari has been victorious in 7 of his last 8 outings, while Tokoro is on a 3-fight win streak.
The answer to the question of who is Japan's best 135-pound fighter will finally be answered at DREAM.17 as we approach the finals of the Bantamweight Grand Prix. Former deep bantamweight champion Masakazu Imanari takes on Dream veteran Hideo Tokoro. Imanari made it to the semifinals after dispatching Keisuke Fujiwara in the opening round. He subsequently moved on to the finals after applying a patented heel hook submission to Kenji Osawa. Conversely, his opponent Tokoro put forth a gutsy performance and managed a TKO stoppage over the well-versed Yoshiro Maeda. The team reversal fighter squeaked into the finals after earning a split decision over Atsushi Yamamoto. It's a matchup that is long overdue as these two mixed martial arts veterans lock up for the first time. Though Tokoro is a fairly well-rounded fighter, he will have to be extra careful if the fight goes to the ground since he has succumbed to elite grapplers in the past.
Put this down.
Oh, it's good night, Irene! Eureka! He found it!
This will be a weakness that the master of leg locks will look to exploit. The 35-year-old catch wrestler equips himself with an arsenal of deadly submissions and isn't afraid to pull guard to sway the fight in his favor. It will be a clash of styles between a very slick submission ace and a hard-nosed journeyman. Though a title is not up for grabs, the moniker of Japan's best bantamweight is, and the winner of this bout will undoubtedly hold that distinction as they advance to Dream's worldwide Bantamweight Grand Prix later this year.
Imanari, he's held belts in 2 different promotions, Deep and Cage Rage, so could this very well mean a 3rd belt for him?
It could, if he can get this fight down to the ground and use his world-class submission skills. His jiu-jitsu is off the chart. Tokoro, of course, a jiu-jitsu player and a judo player, so he's very competent on the ground, but he doesn't want to go there. He has to take Imanari out in his weakest spot, and that is the stand-up game. Sprawl and brawl. Keep him at the end of his jab and punish Imanari. If he does that, he can take home the title in this fight.
Well, Tokoro, he's a Dream veteran, but he's had a number of losses, 23 in total. So this must be a big deal for him to be in the finals.
Absolutely. The thing about Tokoro is he's been so inconsistent over his career, but we have seen flashes of brilliance throughout that career. It just depends on which fighter shows up, and I think when there's a belt on the line, I think Tokoro is going to show up in great shape and try to take it to Imanari. But again, this is a pick'em with anybody able to win this fight.
And how do you think it's going to end?
God, I have no idea, but I'm going to say that Tokoro is smart enough. I think he keeps this fight standing and gets the decision victory and the title.
In the Featherweight Championship bout, Hiroyuki Takaya will defend his title when he throws down with Kazuyuki Miyata. Takaya has earned 11 of his fights by stoppage and has won 3 of his last 4 bouts. Miyata's holding on to a 6-fight win streak with an 11-7 record.
Though his record isn't overly impressive at first glance, Hiroyuki Takaya has become a hardened veteran of mixed martial arts, because throughout his career he has faced many highly touted competitors. In 2009, Takaya entered the Dream Featherweight Grand Prix and put forth an impressive performance.
Takaya has him down. It's over.
In the finals, he ran into Viviano Fernandez, but despite his valiant effort, he dropped a split decision and failed to capture the featherweight title.
And again, Takaya once more, a goblet of saliva flies out of the mouth of Fernandez. They are throwing down. Here we go. Viviano Fernandez is the Dream Featherweight champion.
Takaya rebounded in 2010 with back-to-back knockouts over Joachim Hansen and Chase Beebe.
Still circling to his right, and he fires the right. Couples up.
The big kibosh! I told you!
Takaya's
The big kibosh! This is over! Surely Takaya will finish him! Yes! Takaya's done it again!
The win streak would continue as he would once again get a crack at the gold, and this time he made good on his opportunity.
Double leg here from Fernandez. Gets the takedown. What can he do with the submission?
He's trying to get his hips moving. He's trying to get some space in here so he get to some kind of submission, and Takaya is just not letting it happen.
We've got a new champion! Takaya is the featherweight champion of Dream! What a moment for Hiroyuki!
At one time earning his stripes brawling on the streets of Japan, Takaya now finds himself walking in a more positive direction. 2011 began with a loss to Roberto Peralta under the Strikeforce banner, but the refocused champion returns to action on home soil looking to defend his featherweight title. Standing in his way is Olympic freestyle wrestler Kazuyuki Miyata.
Stamina.
Be a man. Superman.
Power. Rainbow. Physical.
After a mediocre beginning, Miyata has adjusted his game and is currently riding a 6-fight win streak. He is a well-conditioned fighter who incorporates a number of unorthodox techniques into his arsenal, derived from his wrestling background.
Yep, he's got it right now. Here it comes! Puts it on the back of his head. Miyata giving the fans what they want.
With a major strength advantage, Little Hercules has been known to muscle around his opponents. His wrestling base will allow Miyata to control the pace of the fight, and with a deep gas tank, this will play to his favor.
Takes the back. Oh! The suplex! And again!
It will be Street Fighter versus Athlete when these two featherweights collide. Takea prepares to defend his title as he tests his heart and will against Miyata's technique and strength.
Takea, he's a street fighter, and Miyata, a powerful wrestler. How do their styles clash?
Exactly that. One's a grappler, Miyata. The other wants to keep it standing, Takea, and I think that's exactly his goal. Try to keep this fight on his feet, sprawl and brawl, and try to punish Miyata. Miyata wants to keep his momentum going, hasn't lost since 2008, and wants to do whatever he can to get this fight down to the ground and grind out a decision victory over the very durable Takea.
In a lightweight bout, Tetsuya Crusher Kawajiri will face Drew Knight Rider Fickett. Kawajiri's coming off a loss to Strikeforce lightweight champion Gilbert Melendez, while Fickett was on a 5-fight win streak until Brian Cobb snapped it at MFC 30 in June.
At 33 years of age, Tetsuya Kawajiri has accomplished much in his professional mixed martial arts career. Coming up the Shudo ranks, he honed his skills and became the Shudo World Welterweight Champion. During Japan's mixed martial arts boom in the mid-2000s, Kawajiri entered the Pride Fighting Championships, and it was there that he showcased his skills on a larger stage, thus becoming recognized as one of the top lightweights in the world. The T-Blood member would continue to dispatch top contenders and build upon his legacy under the Dream banner. Kawajiri is a tough-as-nails wrestler who can quickly take control of a fight.
Takedown! Kawajiri on top.
He utilizes his takedowns to set up his lethal ground and pound, which often results in TKOs.
It's over. See you later, Melkor Metamusic.
With a high tolerance for punishment, the scrappy veteran has been involved in many stand-up wars and continually demonstrates tremendous heart. Despite all of his accomplishments, Kawajiri has failed to capture gold in his most recent undertakings.
Look at the lever. That's good night, Gilbert Melendez. He is just beating him up. Elbows. It's over. Melendez.
The Crusher finds himself in familiar surroundings at DREAM.17 as he looks to re-establish himself, but he has to do so against UFC veteran Drew Fickett. Since dropping down to lightweight, Fickett has amassed an impressive 5-1 record, but hasn't faced anyone of the caliber of Kawajiri. While the Crusher attempts to keep relevance in the lightweight division, Fickett hopes to steal his thunder and propel up the 155-pound ranks.
Drew Fickett replaces Willem Freite in this fight. Looks like you like that, but how is this opponent change going to affect the Crusher?
I don't think it's going to affect him at all. That's the way they do things in Japan. They happen to get their opponents at the last minute, or opponents change always in the fight game, especially in Japan. So Kawajiri is the type of fighter. He trains everything. He trains mixed martial arts on a daily basis, and whoever they give him, he's ready to fight. He's one of the most entertaining fighters in the entire lightweight division. He's powerful, he's strong. He's going to take it to Drew Fickett. This is an outstanding matchup. Fickett known for his submission skills. He wants to utilize those skills if Kawajiri makes the mistake and takes the fight down to the ground. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to punish Fickett standing, and I think he's going to make this a very long night for the American.
In a non-title rematch, Zaromskis meets Hayato Sakurai, who's looking to rebound from the biggest losing streak of his career. Sakurai has lost 4 straight, which started at Dream 10 2 years ago. Zaromskis is coming off a loss to Jordan Mean at Score Fighting Series this past June.
Aiming to avenge the loss that began the tailspin, Japanese mixed martial arts icon Hayato Sakurai returns to the ring with revenge on his mind. The string of losses began back at Dream 10 in the semi-final round of the welterweight tournament. Sakurai earned his spot with a crushing knockout win over Shinya Aoki and was set to take on unorthodox Marquez-Ramos. After such an impressive performance, Maha entered the bout with momentum, but was stunned with a devastating head kick.
Oh my God! Oh my God! It's over! It's beautiful!
The Japanese fighter went on to face fellow veteran Akihiro Gono and suffered a submission loss. Looking to turn things around with his next bout would prove to be difficult, as he was paired with Nick Diaz in a non-title affair, which resulted in a first-round submission.
Oh, the armbar! The armbar! It's trouble! It's good night, Irene!
Jason High would extend the losing streak as Sakurai could not capitalize and put the young fighter away.
Oh, the Sakurai's been caught.
The 35-year-old could not seem to pull the trigger, and as a result, he walked away with a split decision loss. It's been 10 years since Sakurai has captured a championship, and now with 4 consecutive losses, he finds himself at a crossroads. Bursting onto the big stage in 2009 at the Dream welterweight tournament, the Lithuanian Zaromskis dispatched Seiichi Ikimoto as well as Hayato Sakurai.
Slips out. Oh, and a drill kick for Big Kabosh. Here it comes Zaromskis.
Oh my God, oh my God.
It's over.
And Jason High to become the inaugural Dream welterweight champion.
Oh, the Big Kabosh. The Big Kabosh.
Oh my God.
The Big Kabosh. It's over. It's over. It's over.
However, upon venturing into North America, the London shoot fighter pupil could not replicate the success he achieved in Japan.
Zaromskis' legs are gone. They're absolutely wide. Down goes Zaromskis!
The Raging Demon returns to the land of the rising sun to rebuild a win streak in a rematch that is 2 years in the making. The head kick specialist looks to repeat history, while Sakurai yearns for retribution over the man who sent him into his downward spiral.
Sakurai, he's a well-rounded veteran and a Japanese legend, but is this going to be his last stand?
Kazushi Sakuraba, I guess he just retired. So many Japanese fighters have fought past their prime. Sakurai isn't one of those fighters. He still has an awesome skill set. He's always in good shape, and he fights hard. So Sakurai hasn't taken the beatings that some of the other Japanese fighters have taken over the course of their career. So I think Sakurai will still fight for a number of years to come.
For the third place finish in the Bantamweight tournament, Keisuke Fujiwara will take on Kenji Osawa. The kickboxer Fujiwara replaces an injured Atsushi Yamamoto in the tournament. Osawa won his fight in the first round, but was submitted by Masakatsu Imanari in the second. Trevor Prangley will throw down with Tatsuya Mizuno. Mizuno was most recently knocked out by Sergei Haritonov and has earned a record of 8-7. Prangley, who's making his promotional debut, is 23-7-1 and is coming off a loss to BJJ specialist Roger Gracie. Brazilian Bruno Carvalho clashes with Pride veteran Eiji Mitsuoka. Mitsuoka has won 3 of his last 4 fights, all by submission, while Carvalho's on a 4-fight winning streak with a record of 6-1. Next up, we're taking a look at It's Showtime as Europe and Japan clash in the main event.
You can't make mistakes with Petrosi and Richard.
It's Showtime makes its first foray outside of Europe in a co-promotion with Japanese boxing organization Rebels in Tokyo, Japan. In what will be a spectacular main event, Giorgio Petrosian faces Hanato Watanabe.
Who is Giorgio Petrosian? Having won consecutive K1 World Max Championships in 2009 and 2010, Giorgio Petrosian has catapulted himself onto the top of the kickboxing world. The Armenian touts a highly impressive record, sporting 68 wins versus only 1 defeat. The youngster exploded into the fight world's public eye in the latter half of the last decade and ousted A-class competition under the K1 banner, definitively defeating the likes of Yuya Yamamoto, Yoshihiro Sato, Albert Kraus, and Andy Sauer.
There you go, then! Giorgio the Petrosian! A fantastic win against the legend that is Andy Sauer!
Petrosian has made himself the new untouchable of professional kickboxing. Often praised as the best striker in the sport, the doctor uses his precision technique to systematically pick apart and outclass his opponents. Combining blistering low kicks with an airtight defense allows him to keep opponents at bay and avoid any overwhelming barrages. Adept in all facets and angles of striking, Petrosian is a master in the art of 8 limbs, and he demonstrates this in every outing.
Look at that knee, lovely knee. Southpaw left knee coming through the middle.
Returning to the It's Showtime promotion after a 2-year absence, the Muay Thai fighter looked for another impressive win over Shahid Ulad Elhaj, but an accidental strike resulted in a no contest.
Oh my goodness, that's one job they won't be putting out to breed.
It's Showtime invades Japan for their next foray, and it is there that Petrosian will take on former Rise champion Hanato Watanabe. Primarily recognized on the local Japanese circuit, Watanabe has dispatched contenders like Mike Zambides, Artur Kachenko, and Andre Dida. but he now takes the ultimate step up in competition. The younger Japanese fighter will have his hands full, and he will have to enter this bout with a top-notch game plan if he wishes to offset his most difficult opponent. A striking chess match will be on display as two fighters look to strategically capitalize on an opening and deliver the checkmate.
Stay with us as we shift gears over to the sweet science after the break.
Landed, landed, landed.
This segment on the Fight Network is brought to you by The Ballroom, downtown Toronto's newest interactive entertainment center.
In what has been labeled a tune-up fight, Juan Manuel Marquez will trade fists with Colombian Marquez-Ramos this weekend in Cancun, Mexico. Juan Manuel Marquez has earned an impressive 52-5-1 record, having lost bouts to notable fighters like Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao. Ramos is riding a 3-fight winning streak after stopping all 3 of his opponents, and this bout will be the most challenging of his career. Boxing analyst Corey Erdman joins me now. Corey, this fight is a lead-up to the 3rd bout between Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez. So is this a do-or-die match for Marquez?
Absolutely. If Marquez can't win this fight, there is no Manny Pacquiao fight. And really, there shouldn't be if he can't get past Marquez-Ramos. This fight is promoted by Marquez himself. He's chosen Ramos as the opponent. He's a guy coming up from super featherweight. He's a southpaw. It's everything to prepare him for Manny Pacquiao. So if he can't get the win, there shouldn't be another fight with Manny Pacquiao.
And how do you call this fight?
I'm going to say Marquez gets him out of there in about 5 rounds. I think he's too precise of a puncher. And as we saw when Ramos fought Jorge Solis, he's really susceptible to the left hand to the body, and a straight right hand from Marquez is likely to finish it off in under 5.
Ricky Burns, who hasn't lost since 2007, will look to continue his winning streak when he clashes with Nicky Cook in Liverpool, England. Burns has earned a 31-2 record, while Cook owns 30 wins and 2 defeats. That's it for the show. Thank you to John Ramdeen and Corey Erdman for joining me. And if you're ever looking for more fight news, make sure you visit our website, fightnetwork.com, and you can always tweet us on Twitter. Our handle is @FightNet. On behalf of the Fight Network, I'd like to thank the Ballroom for letting us use their space, and thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.